This pizza girl went viral for a totally unexpected reason. Because from the beginning, she was just posting clips from her everyday job. From her making pizzas, to even having a little fun with her dad. She wasn't even trying for any views. But then she posted a video and it instantly got 5 million views overnight. Going so viral, she had to turn off her comment section on her TikTok. So what was the video that blew up and made everyone comment? Well, it was this TikTok she posted of her working the dough.
He totally miscalculates what 5% of his power is, and despite having extra padding on, it did not save her from taking damage. This made her angry, but the best part is that he asked her if she wanted to feel 10%. But was that really just 5% of his power? This girl humiliates her opponents while she dominates them, as she uses her legs to restrain them while posing for a picture during the match. Do you think this is badass or bad sportsmanship?
Did you know Brad Pitt's love life is basically Hollywood history? From Gwyneth Paltrow to Jennifer Aniston to Angelina Jolie. Every era had a headline. Every relationship became pop culture. But through all the fame, breakups, and spotlight chaos, Brad always stayed classy. Old school charm, quiet confidence, Hollywood legend energy.
Have you ever seen a wind turbine on a balcony? This one was created by Dutch designers and is called the Archimedes. Its spiral shape captures wind from all directions, even when the breeze is light. Here's the surprising part. It can produce up to 1,500 kilowatt hours per year, and it operates almost silently, so quiet your neighbors won't even notice it.
I've never seen hair this realistic before, but the most amazing thing is, this woman has it too. She bought it to make her hair look more vibrant and colorful. And the best thing is how practical it is. It only takes a few seconds to put it on and take it off. What about you? Would you wear hair like this?
At 70, he still risks his own life without using a stuntman. Despite being at the peak of fame and money, Jackie Chan never lost his childlike mercy. He never gave up making his fans laugh despite so many broken bones and wounds. He is one of the greatest legends of cinema history because Armie Hammer was hiding a striking world under that perfect mask. Leaked messages brought Hollywood's dark fantasies to light, and his career vanished overnight. This scandal proved with a striking truth how terrifying human nature can be. So, what is actually hidden under those glittering masks?
This just makes sense. As this guy was squatting, a gym bro decided to spot him, and one after another, the line kept growing as people joined in. Do you know how many ended up joining the line?
Ini adalah dinding permen karet di Amerika Serikat. Orang-orang dari penjuru dunia datang ke tempat ini hanya untuk menempelkan permen karet yang habis mereka kunyah. Tren aneh ini dimulai sejak tahun 1993 oleh dua anak kecil yang iseng. Dan sekarang dinding ini dipenuhi dengan ribuan warna permen karet, menciptakan karya seni yang ada yang bilang ini unik dan kreatif, tapi banyak juga yang bilang ini jorok banget. Kalau menurut kamu gimana?
This guy made the biggest mistake. As he fell asleep in front of a crowd of dedicated football fans, a cup was placed on top of his smooth head to play a game. One by one, people took turns pouring a little beer into the cup to see who could get it closest to the top without spilling. But even after a handful of people get the cup more than halfway full, the cup seems to be extremely stable with no trouble. But when this guy took a turn, everything seemed to be fine until this happened, ending the game.
This kid slammed the car's door on his dad on the way to school. The dad refused to take the disrespect, so he rolled down the window and gave him some great encouragement while he walked into school past the cheerleaders.
Valentina, I love you! No skibbity, no cap, bro! Have a good day! No risk, no aura, whatever you say!
People say this is an extraordinary, against nature visual puzzle. In the video, you see a triangular frame with 8 red beans along the left side, 8 along the right, and 8 along the bottom. Now 3 extra beans must be added.
Did you know Deadpool literally cut scenes just to be more violent? At one point, the budget on Deadpool was so tight, the crew removed an entire action scene just to afford more CGI bullets for the highway sequence. Yeah, fewer scenes, more mayhem. Deadpool didn't just break the fourth wall, he broke the budget on purpose. Follow for more low-budget hacks.
This man sees a purple dog walking down the street. When he asks the owner why, she says it matches her outfit. Then the man notices that the dog's eyes are red. The dye is damaging its skin. He grabs the leash and starts running. He quickly takes the dog home and puts it in the bathtub. For 3 hours, he washes the chemicals out of its fur. The water turns purple, but the dog doesn't move. It knows it is being saved. When she comes with the police to get her dog back, he shows them the pictures of the burns. The police arrest her instead. Now the dog is safe. Only those who understood should click like.
Her coach has to hold on to her while running as she's going to pass out. She's performing a VO2 test which records her body's maximum oxygen usage during an intense exercise. Her body will give out as it's pushed to its limits. This helps fine-tune her training to get as much as possible out of her body without overdoing it. How long would you last?
Did you know that this spray is used in the UK to mark criminals? This self-defense spray shoots a harmless but sticky red dye up to 10 meters. Even if it's washed off, the color can last up to 7 days and leaves a trace that's still visible under UV light, making it easier for police to identify the suspect.
These people are screaming to win a free coffee if they are able to fill the screen all the way to the top. You may think this is easy, but many tried and failed. Some even tried screaming together, getting close but not winning, and others tried cheating by using whistles but didn't make it more than halfway. Until this girl showed up making it look easy. She definitely pretended she was screaming at her younger siblings. Could you fill the screen?
Because of this bug, this man becomes a millionaire. In fact, while this man is painting a picture, a bug suddenly flies in from somewhere, lands on the picture, and begins to walk around on it. As a joke, the man keeps moving his pen behind the bug. The bug walks over the picture so much that no empty space is left, and it looks beautiful. Then a rich man buys it for $1 million. Only those who understood should click like.
This student lived every gym bro's dream, as he was called on by the teacher during anatomy class to help demonstrate the human structure more easily with his muscular physique. Have you seen this before? This guy makes incredible toys out of bamboo. He has created a bow that shoots 3 arrows at a time. But the coolest toy he has made so far has to be the sniper rifle that uses the flexibility of the bamboo as a slingshot to shoot bamboo bullets. And this is what it can do.
Did you know Natalie Portman is literally a published scientist? While studying at Harvard University, she co-authored a scientific research paper on brain development. Yep, she's officially listed as a published researcher, so she's not just an Oscar winner, she's also contributed to neuroscience. Not many Hollywood stars can flex that. Follow for more brainy Natalie Portman trivia.
This lifter forgot he needed to breathe, so when attempting to beat his PR, this happened. And don't worry, he was okay.
Did you know one Stan Lee cameo almost went way further? In Guardians of the Galaxy, Stan Lee appears as a Xandarian old man casually flirting. But here's the wild part. Director James Gunn originally wanted Stan to flip off the camera. Marvel instantly said, nope. Still, the toned-down version became a fan-favorite cameo. Because honestly, Stan didn't need to do much. His presence was the Easter egg.
This is one of the most unique jobs you'll ever see, because every day, this guy has to make sure that guests make it off the ship safely. This long platform is called a gangway, which moves up and down due to the strong waves. With the inconsistent movement of the gangway, there is only a small window for people to get off safely. But accidents do happen. Would you work this job?
This firefighter demonstrates the perfect way to carry an unconscious person during an emergency. You can't just roll a person on the ground or drag them by their hair. And dragging them might seem like the right approach, but it's actually wrong because this way you can't see where you're going. So instead, you should do this.
Ashley Graham shattered all beauty standards in the fashion world. At the start of her career, she was told she could never be a model because the only rule was being size 0. Although Ashley hit this striking wall, instead of accepting limits, she brought fashion giants to their knees. She became a cover star, inspired millions, and those who excluded her finally produced a custom Barbie in her name.
As she steps up for her turn on the massive zip line, she looks terrified as her instructor locks her in. She grips the harness tightly as it's given one last safety check. But just before she goes, another instructor helps the 2 riders before her get back to the top. And when it's finally her turn to fly, this happens.
This is why women live longer than men, as this group of friends strap themselves to a rotating swing that can reach extreme speeds by having a few people spin it from the center, which can get out of hand quickly but is worth the fun. try this?
Ketika cewek ini bikin bayangan tangannya menjadi anak kucing lucu, semua orang langsung memberi pujian. Tapi tiba-tiba temennya datang dan nggak mau kalah dan langsung bikin versi sendiri yang katanya lebih bagus. Burung unta, dia bilang. Masalahnya, bentuknya malah aneh banget. Mendengar itu, si cewek malah berkata, iya sih, jelek banget kayak kamu. Dan nggak ada yang ngasih mereka like.
No one knows why this little girl went so viral. Because at the start of the video, she was just dancing normally, not wanting any views or likes at all. But then at the last second, she did a move that was so interesting. She even went viral for it, and had everyone obsessed over her. Just look.
Did you know Elton John is literally royalty now? In 1998, Elton John was knighted by Queen Elizabeth II for his services to music and charity. That means his official title is Sir Elton Hercules John, pop icon, piano legend, Knight of the Realm. Follow for more royal-level Elton facts.
That's it, tell, show.
Did you know Storm's lightning wasn't all CGI? In X-Men, the lightning effects for Storm weren't fully digital. Some bolts were actually hand-drawn frame by VFX artists. Old-school animation, mixed with modern tech. That's why it feels so raw and powerful on screen. Follow for more filmmaking secrets.
This man cannot go to the toilet, so his mother bought this special bed. She simply opens this cushion and inserts the potty so he can do his business. When he wants to eat, she simply presses a button and it lifts from behind so he can eat comfortably. Also, washing his feet or cleaning his hair comes very easy with this bed. This innovative device truly transforms their difficult daily routine. Only those who understood should click like.
This guy has been going viral for his incredible talent because he has mastered the age-old tradition of stone carving. This art requires immense precision and attention to detail. By using different chisel bits, he is able to produce unreal pieces that deserve to be displayed in a museum. One of his creations sits at the top of one of the world's largest Gothic cathedrals. This is why Rome wasn't built in a day, as some of these pieces take weeks to make.
This girl is sleeping when another girl tilts her gadget down and drops it. Her gadget breaks and she wakes up shocked. When she looks, she sees it's broken. Then the owner comes over, breaks the other girl's gadget too, and gives the first girl a new gadget. When she looks at it, her gadget pops out, and she feels very happy. Now imagine this. On one side is your mom, and on the other side is money. Who would you choose? Comment and let us know. If your answer is mom, then like this video and subscribe to the channel.
This boy accidentally falls into the area where the monkeys live. The big monkeys slowly begin to approach him. Frozen with fear, the boy doesn't know what to do. As the monkeys open their mouths, a baby monkey runs up and hugs him. Seeing this loving moment, the adult monkeys stop, and they decide not to harm him. With tears in his eyes but a smile on his face, the boy runs away.
Did you know Charlize Theron's first language isn't English at all? She actually grew up speaking Afrikaans in South Africa. She learned English only after moving to the US. And even today, she still speaks Afrikaans with her family. Hollywood star, global roots. Follow for more international Charlize stories.
Ini berhasil membuat pemilik permainan gulung tikar. Di permainan ini, pemain harus menangkap ikan sebanyak mungkin dalam 60 detik. Tapi, wanita ini punya cara yang sangat cerdas dengan memasukkan semua ikan ke dalam bajunya. Dan meskipun belum ada yang pernah bisa mendapatkan lebih dari 5, dia tidak melanggar aturan apapun. Dan pemilik yang ada di belakangnya hanya bisa pasrah. Dan hasilnya, dia berhasil mengumpulkan lebih dari 30 ikan. Jadi, apa kamu punya trik yang lebih hebat?
This guy's speed is unreal, and if you blink, you'll miss it. He's the fastest arm wrestler in the world, and due to his insane speed, people have accused him of speeding up his videos. But just watch how his opponents react, as they don't even realize they already lost. This is a genius way for police officers to train for hostage situations, as this simulator creates an interactive scenario where you must save a person from an armed criminal without unloading on the hostage. This training allows officers to find the right moment to strike and eliminate the threat, but if you miss or get shot, you'll receive an electric shock. But would you try this?
Bocah ini main Super Mario di dunia nyata. Gak cuman itu, dia berkata kalau berhasil sampai garis akhir tanpa jatuh, semua orang akan ngasih 1 like. Tapi, dia gak nyangka kalau permainan ini ternyata jauh lebih sulit dari yang dia bayangkan. Meski begitu, dia gak ingin jatuh dan kalah dalam tantangan ini. Jadi setiap ada rintangan berbahaya yang menghadang, dia menghindarinya dengan sangat hati-hati. Dan akhirnya, dia makin dekat dengan garis finish. Tapi ternyata, dia cuma dapat 2 like.
This guy won't let anyone else have a turn. He just wants to swing all by himself. And when he finally allows someone to use the swing, the moment they arrive, He wants it back immediately. No chance for anyone else. So, just before he tries to swing again.
This is Alex Pereira's most controversial fight. When going against Jamahal Hill, he was kicked in the groin accidentally. The ref momentarily stopped the fight, but Alex waved him off, and seconds after hits Hill with a knockout blow. What makes this KO controversial is people think Hill thought the fight had been stopped as his guard was down. But this is why they say to never let your guard down and stay alert. What do you think?
Jealous of the fiends, like why you always on the phone for?
Did you know Hawkeye was almost forgettable in the MCU? In the early plans, he was just a side character. No big arc, no emotional weight. But then Jeremy Renner stepped in. He played Hawkeye not as a spectacle, but as a person. No powers, no armor, just heart, regret, loyalty. That grounded presence changed everything. Marvel rewrote the role, because sometimes it's not the power that matters, it's the presence. Did you know one of the funniest Spider-Man moments never made the movie? There's a deleted scene from Spider-Man where J. Jonah Jameson actually puts on the Spider-Man suit. And no, he doesn't take it seriously at all. He jumps around the office, poses like a hero, and completely embarrasses himself. J.K. Simmons going full comedy mode. It's ridiculous. It's perfect. It's comedy gold.
Why is this speed skater going viral online? Most people thought it's because of her lightning fast speed on the ice, or maybe even because of her dance videos she films after training, but those people would be completely wrong. Because recently online, something strange started happening. During the 2023 Winter Olympics, clips of her training at home started popping off, and millions started searching for her name. Not because they wanted to see her train, but because they loved her personality.
Did you know Tony Stark's Malibu mansion was never real? That iconic cliffside home from Iron Man looks insanely real, but it's actually 100% CGI. The exterior was digitally created and placed over a California coastline. No address, no tours, just pure movie magic. And yet, it became one of the most iconic homes in cinema history. Follow for more Iron Man production secrets.
Steel like this isn't cooled slowly by accident. It's done on purpose because rushing the process can permanently damage the metal. When steel cools too fast, its internal structure tightens unevenly, creating hidden cracks, warping, and long-term weakness, which is why factories avoid shortcuts and let massive coils cool naturally over time, even if it means waiting an entire day, since a steel product that cools the wrong way might look fine on the outside but fail when it's finally used in real-world conditions.
If you try to join these two half circles without thinking, you'll notice the top part doesn't match up. But if you start by aligning the top first, the spiral pattern won't line up anymore. This is where reverse thinking comes in. Use your imagination. Hook the right ring.
She refused help from her coach and regretted it instantly, because when this coach attempted to help his student with her backflip, she said this, and in her next attempt, this happened.
3 pull next.
You see a cat fighting with a snake, please don't worry. While snakes are terrifying creatures to humans, they actually have almost no chance of winning against cats. The reason lies in the cat's amazing reaction speed. For example, even though this snake gets right up to the cat's face, the cat stares at it intently without any fear, and the moment the snake tries to attack, the cat quickly pulls back and counterattacks. This is because while a snake's reaction speed is about 0.05 seconds, a cat's is about 0.02 seconds, making it more than twice as fast. Therefore, cats have almost no fear of snakes, and sometimes even treat them like toys. Only those who understood should click like.
This woman disrespected her opponent, but what she doesn't know is she was up against a 3-time world champion in jiu-jitsu and is about to learn why you don't play dirty. Thinking she could easily overpower her, she pulled her in trying to get a hold of her, but this was her biggest mistake, as she fell for the trap, getting put into a triangle choke with no escape. Once the match was over, she started complaining to the ref, unable to accept defeat. This slide looks impossible to climb, but that's not stopping anyone at this festival. Contestants are lining up to grab the flag at the top, but the grease makes it nearly impossible. Every attempt ends in failure, but with each try, the slide gets less slippery. Then one guy takes the longest run up you've ever seen and pulls off the impossible. Think you could win this challenge? These soldiers are being tested on who can dismantle and reassemble this machine gun the fastest. But if you take a close look, there is something unfair about this military drill, as one of the soldiers has a blindfold on, making this test extremely hard. But this soldier has gotten to know his partner very well, because although he is blindfolded, he stays ahead of 2 soldiers. Unfortunately, he did not finish first, as the soldier at the end got a time of 42 seconds, but he finished second with an incredible time of 50 seconds.
Got 50 blindfolded, I wouldn't complain.
Before entering this cave trail, you must pass through this hole first, and if you have difficulty fitting, you won't make it out. This is to keep people safe, as you'll have to squeeze through tight holes and rock formations which get extremely claustrophobic. But would you explore this cave?
China is living in the year 3022, and this machine proves it. Almost every school canteen has a garbage eater. Instead of trash cans, students dump leftovers here. It instantly crushes your lunch into a thick slurry, separating oil from water in seconds. That oil is turned into biodiesel to power buses, while the rest becomes compost for farms. Is this genius or just plain gross? Should the US adopt this? Let me know.
And this guy was working at a pizzeria. He was unable to pick up the pizza with the pizza peel, so the owner decided to show him how it was done for the last time, demonstrating to him that it was not that difficult and to just do as he does. And you won't expect what happens next, as the man picks up the pizza boxes with one hand and the peel with the other, taking it a little too literally, but surprisingly it worked. Ever wanted to try real-life Mario Kart? This is mountain kart racing. The goal is to race downhill, controlling your speed, since these karts don't have motors, and one wrong move will cost you the race. You can even make your own shortcuts to dodge the chaos and get ahead. The first one to the bottom wins. Would you try it?
Bocah ini nantangin master kungfu di markasnya. Dengan percaya diri, dia bilang bisa lakuin jurus apapun. Sang master langsung mengujinya, disuruh posisi terbalik. Ajaibnya, bocah ini berhasil. Tapi sang master belum puas dan menyuruhnya mematahkan penggaris besi. Dan saat gilirannya tiba, aksinya bikin semua orang melongo. Sebagai ujian terakhir, dia harus menghancurkan kaleng dengan 1 pukulan. Semua orang mengira dia akan gagal, tapi inilah yang terjadi.
This cocky streamer challenges the best young fighter at this MMA gym and gets humbled instantly. After getting humiliated by the young boxer, he decided to take his training seriously, and this is what he looks like now. Do you think he has a chance in a rematch? Never do this, as this girl is squeezing into an underwater cave. This is extremely dangerous, as these types of caves are very unpredictable with limited visibility that makes it hard to find an exit. And if you are scared of tight places, these tunnels can get extremely tight, making it hard to move while being dragged by a current. Would you do this? There is a lot going on in this short video, as these friends are at a Japanese bike park that has various kinds of bikes that you have never seen before. Even a bike that gives you a chest workout as you ride it. What is the weirdest bike you spotted?
This man takes a tool with small metal pins on the bottom and carefully places it over the queen bee. After that, he carefully marks her with a special blue pen to keep her completely calm and make her much more visible. Beekeepers usually use a few simple standard colors, and each color shows the year the queen was added to the hive. Only those who understood should click like.
Ryan Shaw's chiropractor couldn't believe he was this massive, as when getting an adjustment, he wasn't able to get a hold of him due to his enormous size.
Bring your elbows in all the way.
Like that?
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. A little bit. Nope. Too big for that. That's a first. That is a first. I've never been able to not get my arms locked in there.
Just imagine how good he felt after leaving his office.
Cowok ini udah nggak tahan lagi melihat bulu di ketiak ceweknya. Tanpa ragu, dia langsung nempelin plester cabut bulu ke situ. Ceweknya kaget, sekaligus marah sambil teriak-teriak. Dan ketika mau cabut plester itu, dia ragu-ragu. Tapi tiba-tiba, nggak cuma itu, cowoknya tempel plester lagi di ketiak satunya.
They have to hit a bottle on top of their parents' head to prove their skills and trust. Some of the players don't even come close to hitting the bottle, and others graze or hit close to the bottle but don't succeed. And the father that had no trust in his son proved him wrong.
Challenge that. I don't trust him one bit. Come on, man.
She blew up all over the internet because of this move. When she was just dancing at the start of the video, nothing stood out. But every move is calculated up to one final move. And when she did it, everyone was extremely shocked. Just watch.
These friends have no fear as they perform the most insane stunts you will ever see, proving why women live longer than men. Some of the crazy stunts they have done are being used as a human cannon, which just looks terrifying, sliding down from a platform stories high, putting faith on a single rope, and using themselves as a slingshot, making sure they don't miss. What stunt was your favorite?
Watch this rock climber finish the hardest level. Because at the start, she looked very comfortable climbing the wall. But then she got to the part where most people failed at, almost falling from a misplaced foot. Getting so close to the top, everyone from underneath is all staring closely. A few more steps and she's done.
This skinny guy is about to blow your mind, as you may think he is about to bench press 220 pounds, but is actually going to perform forearm curls, making it look effortless. He's known as a Kimbo due to his insanely massive and strong arms, and he has been going viral for humbling bodybuilders with inflated muscles, proving huge muscles doesn't equal strength. But could you beat him in an arm wrestling match?
Look at this unusual invention. After years of loneliness and failing to find a partner, this man created a machine that gives him hugs even using a lifeless tree. At first it seems quirky, maybe even a little sad, but also strangely heartwarming. And when the machine finally wraps around him and actually works, the moment is pure comfort.
As this kid gets slammed onto the mat, he loses his fight. But once he gets to the car, his dad lets him know he has his back. And with a big smile, he knew this was going to be true. So keeping to his word, he did exactly what he said he was going to do, defeating the other kid's dad with the same move that ended their son's match. Do you think he is the coolest dad?
These two friends started racing to see who could be the fastest on an inflatable obstacle course, but the guy on the right turned out to be a cunning one. Instead of entering the course, he ran right past it. Then he stood panting and waited for his opponent, pretending he had just run the whole course, and then he acted in such a way that you would think he had actually slipped and fallen.
Did you know one superhero was actually played by 5 people? Colossus wasn't brought to life by a single actor. It took a whole team, a face actor, a body actor, a voice actor, a stunt performer, and a motion capture expert, all working together to create one steel-skinned mutant. Turns out teamwork really does make the superhero. Follow for more insane CGI secrets.
Ini ibunya berulang tahun, jadi dia menyiapkan kejutan spesial untuknya. Satu kue yang tampilannya cantik banget, meski harganya nggak murah, tapi buat orang tersayang semua terasa sepadan. Nggak lupa, dia nambah minuman dingin dan camilan biar pestanya makin seru. Begitu sampai rumah, wajah ibunya langsung berubah cerah. Tapi sebelum pesta dimulai, meja dan kursi disusun rapi, kue diletakkan di tengah, dan camilan di sampingnya. Dan jika kamu mau ikut pesta kecil ini, kasih like. Anak ini tiba-tiba nyomot sosis ibunya, lalu menaruhnya di kolam. Dengan entengnya dia bilang, sosis itu umpan terbaik. Ibunya jelas gak percaya. Tapi setelah beberapa saat, ikan besar mulai tertarik. Akhirnya, dia nurutin ide anaknya. Karena setelah berjam-jam mancing, dia gak dapet satupun. Dan gak lama setelah umpan sosis dilempar ke kolam, ikan besar langsung tertangkap dengan mudah. Dan sang ibu cuma bisa melongo melihat trik konyol anaknya.
This guy is the real-life Agent 47 in Airsoft, as no one sees him coming.
Hey, brother. You're out.
Because he always finds a way to sneak up behind his opponents undetected, taking them out in a second. And when he finds a victim, he has no remorse hitting them point blank. But some people aren't fans of his stealth.
In the face, really? Cry about it.
Would you play against this guy? This guy has perfected his takedowns as he practices the same move every day for hours. He uses this dummy to train, and his takedown power is insane. And if you think he can only do this to dummies, you would be mistaken, as this is what he looks like wrestling another fighter.
This little lady went viral for an unexpected reason, because these two adults were doing the famous TikTok dance while in cowboy outfits. But then this one pulled off a move so insane, everyone's eyes were shifted onto her, and she even went viral because of it. Just look.
This person sacrificed their body to help progress science, as after passing away they donated their body to a medical school so that healthcare professionals could study the human body more accurately. The body was cut into a series of sections so that all parts of the human body could be visible and understood. But would you have done the same? Check out this unique sport you've probably never heard of. This is a modern Korean martial art called Haedong Gumdo. The aim is to slice 3 levels of paper with a sword, which takes a lot of focus, as to get any points, it must be a clean straight cut all the way through. But the hard part is, you must do it with a wooden sword.
Der Typ ist eine echte Statue, weil er seinen Körper so still halten kann, dass er wie eine Wachsfigur aussieht. Aber das ist eine sehr schwierige Fähigkeit, weil man völlig still bleiben muss, selbst wenn man zu Boden fällt oder lange unter Wasser ist. Diesmal bewegt er selbst unter Wasser keinen einzigen Muskel. Es sieht wirklich so aus, als wäre kein Leben in ihm. Lass uns ihn wegen seiner unglaublichen Fähigkeit viral gehen lassen.
Wanita ini lagi taruhan sama ibunya. Siapa yang habisin permen jumbo duluan dapat 1 juta. Tapi wanita ini ternyata bermain curang. Diam-diam dia potong sedikit permennya dan membuang sisanya. Lalu pura-pura makan sambil memakai kembali maskernya. Tapi ibunya ternyata lebih licik. Dia melepas masker lalu menaruh permennya yang masih utuh di depan putrinya dan pura-pura makan dengan santai. Jadi ketika putrinya selesai makan dan melepas maskernya, wanita itu cuma bisa bengong.
Did you know Charlize Theron's first language isn't English at all? She actually grew up speaking Afrikaans in South Africa. She learned English only after moving to the US. And even today, she still speaks Afrikaans with her family. Hollywood star, global roots. Follow for more international Charlize stories.
This YouTuber created a real hoverboard because after building a bike with magnetic suspension that actually worked, he had a genius idea to try it on a skateboard. And his first prototype performed surprisingly well, attaching 2 boards with powerful magnets making it float. And to truly give the illusion it's hovering, he made one board out of glass, reimagining what a skateboard could be.
Supaya mobilnya nggak dicuri, pria ini memasang botol plastik di gagang pintunya. Namun saat pria ini beneran didatengin maling, dia lari masuk rumah dan mengunci pintu pakai cara aneh yang ia pelajari dari internet. Bahkan dia masukin spaghetti ke lubang kunci dan si pencuri pun dibuat tak berkutik. Ditambah lagi dengan sistem keamanan dari mainan anak-anak, rumahnya pun aman seketika.
Christian Bale is a total disappointment for tabloid journalism. The reason isn't scandals, but his striking modesty. He still drives a 2003 model car and chooses family over luxury parties. With no social media presence, he quietly disappears once filming ends. Instead of chasing fame, he stands out with his discipline and character. In an era where loyalty is fading, he has been married to the same person for 25 years, putting family above all.
Why do farm animals need their horns to be cut? It's not because their horns grow faster. Horns are made of keratin, just like your fingernails. In the wild, animals naturally wear them down. They fight, they dig, they rub against trees every day. But farm animals live longer, eat constantly, and don't do those things as much. So the horns keep growing, sometimes into the face or skull. That's why farmers have to trim them. But somehow you still haven't liked the video.
Security was chasing this streaker, and in an attempt to get away, he ran toward the stands. But something unexpected happened as the crowd started to help by pulling him up and not letting security pass. The guy blended into the crowd, escaping last second. But the crowd wanted to taunt security, so they started a chant saying he's gone. This runner had to cross the finish line twice because he was so fast, he finished the race before the officials could set up the finish line ribbon. So after crossing the end, he had to go back and run through again. He should get 2 medals as he crossed the finish line twice.
There's a specific reason this professional chose this sand mound in the desert. In just moments, it will turn into a landing zone. One small mistake and everything goes wrong.
This girl is built different as she is about to dislocate her finger mid-clean. But this does not stop her, as she keeps calm and balances the bar on her shoulders so she can put her finger back in place, finishing with a strong jerk. Is this the most badass thing you have ever seen?
Yes, I got it. In simple English, the puzzle is called wooden ring escape. You can't pull the ring out from the top, too small, or from the bottom, blocked by the wooden block. The trick is reverse thinking. Push the wooden block through the hollow center, slip the ring off, then pass the ring through the hole, and it comes free. Want a one-line instruction card or a short video-style script to show the trick?
Watch how Michael Jackson fooled us by hooking his shoe onto a screw in the floor, leaning forward, and yet not falling over.
This man lost everyone he loved, but refused to let the world turn him bitter. Keanu Reeves battled tragedy after tragedy, from losing his best friend to his child and partner. Despite his massive fame, he lives a humble life, giving away his millions to help others. His soul remains pure because...
You will definitely never beat this game, right? It is the hardest game in arcades. You have to throw the bowling ball exactly right to press down the first hump without it rolling back, but you are also not allowed to touch the button at the end of the second ramp. And even if the ball lands exactly in the target zone, you have to win at least twice to get a toy that is only worth $1.
mischievous patient came up with the perfect prank to scare the nurse. While she was busy with her work, he quietly placed the top half of a skeleton on the bed. Not stopping there, he added the remaining leg and even dressed the skeleton in his own shirt. The nurse didn't glance back even once, until the moment he ducked under the bed, she turned around, locked eyes with the skeleton, and let out a terrified scream.
This slide looks impossible to climb, but that's not stopping anyone at this festival. Contestants are lining up to grab the flag at the top, but the grease makes it nearly impossible. Every attempt ends in failure, but with each try, the slide gets less slippery. Then one guy takes the longest run up you've ever seen and pulls off the impossible. Think you could win this challenge?
Did you know Natalie Portman didn't join Thor just for Marvel? Natalie Portman said she signed on because she admired the director, Kenneth Branagh. She once said, "He makes superhero movies feel human." That emotional touch is exactly what sold her, and that's how Jane Foster was born in the MCU. Sometimes it's not the franchise, it's the filmmaker.
Why is this woman becoming viral all of a sudden? Most people would think it's because of her powerful arm, or perhaps maybe even her lightning speed. But those reasons would be completely wrong. Because when she first started posting football videos of herself, she wasn't expecting to get any views at all. But then one clip of her went viral where everyone couldn't stop talking about her looks.
This is one of the most popular games in Vietnam. It's called Mud Cannon. Players lift heavy chunks of sticky mud and slam them down with force. When the mud hits the ground, it spreads into long streaks. The player with the longest trail wins, but it's not just a game. Locals say the loud impact sound helps chase away bad luck.
This woman has the coolest job in the world, as she creates sounds for movies. She uses many different objects and materials to get the perfect sound. She has to get it right, which can take hours and many attempts. Do you know what the last sound is used for? Why did the tallest basketball player in the world decide to quit while standing at 7'7"? Robert Bobrovsky took his basketball career as far as he could, because due to his incredible height, his body is super fragile and prone to injuries, making it hard for him to play. So he decided to change careers to become an actor in the Aliens movie series. Thanks to his height, he was perfect for the role, needing minimal CGI. But some people think he should have stuck to basketball. But do you think he made the right choice?
Did you know Jeremy Renner actually hates stunt doubles? In the Avengers and the Mission Impossible franchise, Jeremy Renner performed many of his own stunts, running, falling, fighting, taking real hits. Even while injured, he refused to slow down. In fact, directors had to tell him to stop, because Renner doesn't just play action heroes, he lives them.
She had no idea someone was stalking her in the parking lot until things took an unsettling turn. Because as she starts to fix her hair in the mirror, she noticed that her windshield wipers were up and was confused because they weren't up when she went in the store. And that's when she finally realized the disturbing truth, that someone was trying to bait her into going outside to fix them, so they had an opportunity to kidnap her. Now fearing for her life, she drives off. But that's when she captured something horrifying.
Why is this hairstylist suddenly going viral online? Most people think it's because of her clean fades, or how good her clients look afterwards. But the actual reason is something you'll never expect. Because when Ivana wanted to grow her hair cutting business, she decided to record herself at work, cutting many of her customers' hair. But over time, her audience online started growing like crazy, not because of her cutting skills, but because of the beautiful outfits she always wears.
This is what hard work and dedication looks like, as after years of continuous training, he developed the coolest stretch marks you'll ever see.
Anjing ini suka dengan mobil dan keluarin kepalanya dari jendela. Melihat itu, pemilik kecilnya punya ide yang sangat lucu. Dia bikin mobil kecil dari kardus, lengkap dengan roda kecil biar bisa jalan. Dan ketika dia dan kucingnya masuk, si anjing akan memeriksa mesinnya terlebih dahulu, memastikan mobil itu layak jalan. Tak lama kemudian, mereka langsung tancap gas, bahkan sambil mengedipkan lampu depan. Tapi sayangnya, mereka cuma dapat 2 like.
This guy has perfected his takedowns as he practices the same move every day for hours. He uses this dummy to train, and his takedown power is insane. And if you think he can only do this to dummies, you would be mistaken, as this is what he looks like wrestling another fighter.
This is the actual reaction that occurs when hydrogen peroxide is added to blood. Hydrogen peroxide has a bactericidal effect that destroys bacterial cells through its strong oxidizing action. At the same time, it reacts with the enzymes in the blood and is broken down into water and oxygen. As a result, bubbles like this are generated, and these bubbles are oxygen only those who understood should click like.
Ini bikin pedagang itu gulung tikar karena bukannya beli, dia malah mecahin pot dagangan itu. Tapi ternyata ada uang di dalamnya. Dengan senyum lebar, dia ambil uang itu, bayar dagangan, dan pergi dengan untung besar. Tanpa pikir panjang, pedagang itu mulai mecahin satu persatu barang dagangannya. Tapi hasilnya nol besar dan wajahnya langsung pucat karena dia telah dikerjain sama pembelinya. Jika kamu berencana pergi ke Cina dan melihat patung di sana, coba deh sesekali beri mereka air. Karena seringkali mereka bukan patung beneran, tapi manusia. Dan lihat betapa banyak air yang dia kasih ke salah satunya. Dia hampir percaya kalau itu patung anak kecil. Padahal itu pria dewasa yang masuk ke dalam baju armor mini. Tapi tetap saja, mereka cuma mendapat 2 like.
Could you beat this game? It is simple. The objective is to hit a nail into a piece of wood within 3 strikes, and you win a prize. But you would be surprised by how many people can't hit the nail. As people keep failing, a man shows up to show off his skills putting in the nail with 2 swings. But no one has been able to get it in within 1 strike other than the host. Could you get it in within 1 swing?
Did you know Mark Ruffalo almost didn't make it at all? Before Hollywood success, Mark Ruffalo struggled financially for years. Odd jobs, paycheck to paycheck, no safety net. Quitting would have been easy, but he stayed, and that choice changed everything. Follow for more real-life struggle stories.
This girl decides that even if she falls quickly, she has to do it reliably in order to set a new record. Without thinking for too long, she goes to the spot where everyone else falls down. But exactly at the moment she is about to fall, she reaches the safe spot. The good thing is she manages to catch the bag in time and moves to the other side. That is why she climbs up so fast and breaks everyone else's record. Only those who understood should click like.
There are no fair fights in the military, as this woman got matched up against a male opponent, and he definitely didn't expect her to have this much power, as she easily overpowered him, making him tap out in less than 30 seconds.
Wanita ini melakukan kesalahan fatal saat membiarkan seekor kambing menyentuh telinganya. Karena tanpa dia sadari, kambing itu sebenarnya mengincar anting mahalnya. Kambing itu berhasil mengambil antingnya dan mulai mengunyahnya. Wanita itu panik mencoba merebut anting itu kembali dari mulut kambing, tapi sia-sia. Namun yang terjadi selanjutnya sangat mengejutkan. Saat suaminya datang dan menatap tajam kambing itu, secara ajaib kambing itu langsung memuntahkan antingnya. Dan anting itu pun berhasil diselamatkan tepat waktu.
This is a combat sport for rock climbers. The goal is to kick your opponent off without hitting their arms. What makes this sport so difficult is you need insane finger strength, as you're holding on to an inch ledge, putting significant stress on your finger tendons and ligaments. The worst part is painful hand cramps that can form. Would you try this sport?
Man is pouring water onto the sand, but actually, this is an experiment recreating 2 billion years in 20 seconds. He covers the wet area with dry sand and repeats the process of pouring water many times. This recreates the process of rain falling, wet sand hardening, and wind-blown sand accumulating on top. Through this process, the soil and sand are compressed and hardened, becoming a large rock. At first, the rock is buried in sand, but over a long period, the wind blows away the surrounding sand and soil, revealing it on the surface. Then, a river flows into this exposed rock, and by eroding it little by little over 5 million years, the Grand Canyon is completed. Only those who understood should click like.
You either make it on your first try, or you never will. Welcome to the most challenging game in the arcade. Your mission: propel the bowling ball over the first hill without it rolling back. But there's a catch. You mustn't touch the button at the end of the second ramp, even if the ball lands perfectly in the target zone.
People say this is an extraordinary, against nature visual puzzle. In the video, you see a triangular frame with 8 red beans along the left side, 8 along the right, and 8 along the bottom. Now 3 extra beans must be added by...
His friends bet him $200 that he couldn't do 17 backflips in a row, and the last flip is just perfect. Most people underestimate how fast NASCAR drivers are going.
This
This firefighter demonstrates the perfect way to carry an unconscious person during an emergency. You can't just roll a person on the ground or drag them by their hair. And dragging them might seem like the right approach, but it's actually wrong because this way you can't see where you're going. So instead, you should do this.
This YouTuber created a real hoverboard because after building a bike with magnetic suspension that actually worked, he had a genius idea to try it on a skateboard. And his first prototype performed surprisingly well, attaching two boards with powerful magnets making it float. And to truly give the illusion it's hovering, he made one board out of glass, reimagining what a skateboard could be. This guy created a robot that uses hacks through its eyes, which makes it impossible for video games to detect. He did this by building a robotic arm and coding it to move to control the mouse, and cameras are used as eyes that are programmed to respond to what is on the screen by using aim hacks. He is never losing again.
This golden ring puzzle is an old spatial riddle passed down for generations, and only quick thinkers can solve it in seconds. At first, many people just pull the ring hard, but the rope tightens into a knot and the ring won't come out. Some even think of cutting the rope, but that ruins the whole point. The real trick is to change perspective. Hold the wooden stick steady with your left hand. Flip the golden ring backward with your right hand, then carefully guide it through the middle of the rope. Finally, lift it gently upward, and the golden ring comes free, simple, clever, and satisfying.
In the past, all high jump athletes performed jumps using an unnatural posture where they kicked one leg high. However, with the arrival of a single genius, this sport was changed forever. This American athlete, named Dick Fosbury, was an unknown competitor with no notable records. However, utilizing the engineering knowledge he learned at university, he invented a jumping method called the Fosbury flop, in which he arched his body to keep his center of gravity below the bar. Then, at the 1968 Mexico City Olympics, he broke the tournament record to win the gold medal, and that technique has been passed down to the present day. Only those who understood should click like.
This guy is a self-proclaimed strongest man in the world, and you may agree after seeing what he can do, as he is able to lift the heaviest hammer in the world and easily hold a motorcycle with one finger, not breaking a sweat. And one of his most impressive feats is bench pressing a motorcycle. But what separates him from the rest is his agility. Do you think he deserves the title? You should never forget that your coach is the one who taught you everything you know, so they know your every move, as this coach is about to teach his fighter a valuable lesson, as all it took was one strike.
Some people can take off this ring in just 3 seconds, while others might play for days without finding the trick. The rope is too short to pull the ring down, and if you loop it the other way, it just goes back to the start. Pulling too hard only makes a tight knot, and many give up, thinking the rope must be cut. But that would spoil the challenge. The real solution is to flip the ring backward, then pull it carefully through the center of the rope, and it comes out.
Videos of this little girl ranting online are going viral, but for what reason? When she first appeared on social media dancing with her friend in the gym's locker room, everyone immediately got hooked onto her personality. But the real reason she went viral is something completely different. Because when she started doing rant videos, her audience liked that way more. But they weren't there to listen to her talk. Instead, they were all tuning in to look at her beauty.
This is Igor, and he skates some of the most bizarre skateboards imaginable, as he's able to kickflip on a shovel, pull off tricks on a glass board, which didn't last long, and even turned a refrigerator door into a rideable board. But his craziest creations are building a skateboard entirely out of chains by welding the links together, which held up perfectly. He even attached trucks to a chocolate bar and was able to land a kickflip.
If you try to join these two half circles without thinking, you'll notice the top part doesn't match up. But if you start by aligning the top first, the spiral pattern won't line up anymore. This is where reverse thinking comes in. Use your imagination. Hook the right ring.
This is Jake, and he is known as the Glitch Shot Guy. And you will not be able to guess what he is going to do next. He has earned his nickname, as people say his trick shots are fake, because they can't understand what is happening. And even though you think he has failed, he will keep you guessing. Before hiking this trail, there is a warning sign that states, if you have difficulties passing through the two posts, you should not continue. People have been calling nature fat-phobic, and that it should be widened for plus-sized people. But the sign is warning people that the canyon is very narrow to avoid anyone getting harmed. What do you think?
Ketika cowok ini iseng mainin pistol wortel buatan adiknya, dia sama sekali nggak tahu akan segera menyesalinya. Karena adiknya ternyata seniman wortel berbakat. Dia membuat patung dari wortel hanya dengan giginya yang kecil dan imut, dan mengunyahnya selama berjam-jam. Jadi, ketika kakaknya mainin wortelnya, dia langsung kesal dan keluarin senjatanya yang besar.
Did you know fame never changed what matters most to Sydney Sweeney? Despite Hollywood's success, Sydney Sweeney says family always comes first. She still visits her hometown in Idaho, and her biggest dream isn't a mansion or awards. It's buying her parents their dream home. Success hits different when you don't forget where you came from. Follow for more heartfelt Sydney stories.
These guys created a real-life money glitch by simply spray painting a mannequin gold and placing it on a public road, making it seem like it was a human statue. Some people walking by were confused, and others thought this was actually a person, so they gave them money for their street performance. And in an hour, they made $43 while doing nothing. Do you think this is a good idea?
Pria ini ingin ngerjain pacarnya. Dia meletakkan tentara mainan yang bergerak di sampingnya. Tapi, bukannya kaget, pacarnya malah menatapnya dingin, lalu melemparkan mainan itu ke lantai. Gak terima, pria itu menyiapkan strategi balas dendam. Kali ini, dia mengumpulkan bala bantuan. Dan saat cewek itu mau menyerang balik, pria itu mengeluarkan senjata pamungkasnya. Akhirnya, pacarnya kalah dalam pertempuran dan melarikan diri.
Imagine if constructing a house was as simple as snapping together toy bricks. This Belgian system turns that idea into reality. The blocks are lightweight, insulated, and lock into position effortlessly. No expert skills required. Just follow the instructions and stack away. A team of 2 can complete a 2-story house in just 1 week. Created by a builder with 25 years of expertise.
This guy created a robot that uses hacks through its eyes, which makes it impossible for video games to detect. He did this by building a robotic arm and coding it to move to control the mouse. And cameras are used as eyes that are programmed to respond to what is on the screen by using aim hacks. He is never losing again. This advice changed my life. One of the biggest mistakes you can make is believing that love is finding the right person. In reality, love is about becoming the right person. Don't go looking for the person you want to spend the rest of your life with. Become the person you want to spend the rest of your life with. The people who deserve you will naturally gravitate towards you.
This little girl pulled off a last-second dance move that made her famous. Because as she was just dancing like normal at the beginning of the video, she was not trying to get any attention or views at all. But then just at the last second of the TikTok, she pulled off this insane move that made her go viral. Just look.
Yes, I got it. In simple English, the puzzle is called Wooden Ring Escape. You can't pull the ring out from the top, too small, or from the bottom, blocked by the wooden block. The trick is reverse thinking. Push the wooden block through the hollow center, slip the ring off, then pass the ring through the hole, and it comes free. Want a one-line instruction card or a short video-style script to show the trick?
This little girl sees a group of people running together for the first time. She can't hide her excitement and watches them with great curiosity. Just then, one of the male runners tries to include her in the race by picking her up, but the little girl suddenly starts crying, shouting "Mom," and the runner immediately puts her down.
This Olympic pole vaulting athlete, Armand Duplantis, discovered an infinite money glitch because every time he beats the world record, he earns $100,000, and he's the best pole vaulter in the world, with no one coming close. And after discovering that he only needs to increase the height by 1 centimeter to set a record, he has gone from 6.17 meters to 6.31, beating his own record 15 times, earning him $1.5 million in just 6 years.
Ini akan menjadi tren paling viral selanjutnya. Karena pria ini berhasil menciptakan desain kemasan es krim yang sangat brilian, yang membuat penjualan es krim di tokonya meningkat drastis. Dan bagian yang paling unik dari kemasan ini adalah cara membukanya. Tinggal tarik tutupnya ke atas, dan es krimnya langsung siap dinikmati. Praktis banget kan? Dan dalam waktu singkat, kemasan ini pun viral. Dan orang-orang rela antri panjang hanya untuk es krim ini.
China is living in the year 3022, and this machine proves it. Almost every school canteen has a garbage eater. Instead of trash cans, students dump leftovers here. It instantly crushes your lunch into a thick slurry, separating oil from water in seconds. That oil is turned into biodiesel to power buses, while the rest becomes compost for farms. Is this genius or just plain gross? Should the US adopt this? Let me know.
This man brings 100,000 pennies and glues every single one to the floor of his bedroom. Who knows exactly how much money that cost him? Each coin is carefully placed by hand, and he uses glue to attach all the coins. Some people think that it could be completely illegal to glue coins to the floor exactly like this. I have absolutely no idea. But what do you think? The end result is amazing. Only those who understood should click like. Why does this man keep an extra golf ball hidden near his ankle? He simply pretends to look for his ball, and while he touches the grass, waiting for everyone to stop looking, he can drop the ball very quickly, allowing him to continue playing without taking a penalty.
His friends bet him $200 that he couldn't do 17 backflips in a row, and the last flip is just perfect. Wrestling team decided to play a little game after practice, and the last one was straight up lethal.
This man decided to cut down a tree in his backyard and make something he really needed out of it. But after this video appeared on the internet, people hated him, and you'll soon understand why. Initially, he cut off the necessary piece from the felled tree and trimmed off all the excess to make a bench. But people hate him because he cut down a mature, healthy tree for such a useless and ugly thing. Like this, if you agree with the commenters.
People are calling this guy a terrible father, because when this hockey player wanted to give this little girl a hockey puck and threw it over the glass, the dad ended up giving it to his son. The girl was visibly upset, so the hockey player got another puck. But this time the dad gave it to his other son. Angered, the player goes and gets a third puck and aggressively taps on the glass, letting the man know to give it to the girl. But do you think he's a bad father or just a genius?
Cameron Diaz was caught off guard on stage. When Chris Isaak suddenly tried to kiss her at the MTV Awards, the room froze. As Diaz's anxiety was clear, her close friend Jim Carrey stepped in. Carrey stormed the stage, mimicked the scene in his own crazy style, and turned the tension into laughter. Christian Bale is a total disappointment for tabloid journalism. The reason isn't scandals, but his striking modesty. He still drives a 2003 model car and chooses family over luxury parties. With no social media presence, he quietly disappears once filming ends. Instead of chasing fame, he stands out with his discipline and character. In an era where loyalty is fading, he has been married to the same person for 25 years, putting family above all.
Did you know Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson almost never became a wrestler? Before WWE and Hollywood stardom, he dreamed of football. He played college ball at the University of Miami and even hoped for the NFL, but injuries and being cut ended that path. Sometimes failure doesn't stop a dream. It redirects it. Follow for more turning points.
This is Alpha Man Boot Camp, and these men have paid $18,000 for 3 days of training. The sole purpose of this camp is to put men through tough and uncomfortable situations to build character and the mentality of never giving up when times get hard. During this training, you will have to endure an ice bath, drag yourself up a hill without slowing down, or you will be dragged down and back crawl on a train track with gravel. What do you think about this?
Run! Don't fall! We can't lose the game! Come on! It looks safe here. I'll stay here.
Girl, run fast or you'll fall.
No, Mom, I'm not falling. Mom, help me!
My daughter is out of the game. Girl, look, I'm going to win.
Whoa, Mom! You win! We deserve a like!
This is the only reason why every NBA player in history loves Kyrie Irving. Kyrie once tried to pass the ball, but it accidentally hit a kid in the crowd hard on the head, and the kid started crying. But instead of ignoring it like most players would, Kyrie immediately walked over and apologized. In another game, an opposing player got injured badly, and Kyrie still went over to check on him and show support like he was his own teammate. And when Klay Thompson was about to fall and hit his head, Draymond Green caught him, and Kyrie rushed over instantly to help as well.
Chinesen lassen nicht einmal Kerzen in Ruhe, denn diese Art von Kerze, die in China hergestellt wird, wird jetzt in Dubai verwendet. Selbst wenn deine Kinder aus Versehen die brennende Kerze umkippen, bleibt sie sicher und fängt kein Feuer. Bei normalen Kerzen geht das Feuer nicht aus. Aber bei dieser Kerze erlischt die Flamme sofort, wenn sie fällt, wegen der kleinen Stücke des harten Wachses.
If you try to join these two half circles without thinking, you'll notice the top part doesn't match up. But if you start by aligning the top first, the spiral pattern won't line up anymore. This is where reverse thinking comes in. Use your imagination. Hook the right ring.
This lifter forgot he needed to breathe, so when attempting to beat his PR, this happened. And don't worry, he was okay. This girl humiliates her opponents while she dominates them, as she uses her legs to restrain them while posing for a picture during the match. Do you think this is badass or bad sportsmanship? This woman is about to break 15 concrete blocks, and to get enough power, she lets out her war cry. And if we look in the back, we can tell who tried this first.
Say I make you nervous, a tragedy, I'm a beautiful disaster, a reckoning.
Gadis kecil ini benci Coca-Cola. Jadi, pas naik ke motor, dia cuma membawa Sprite-nya. Meski begitu, dia tetap mencoba meraih cola itu. Tapi sayangnya, tangannya nggak nyampai. Dan saat dia minta tolong ke ayahnya nggak dengar. Malah langsung tancap gas. Tapi kemudian, ayahnya tetap menyalahkan gadis kecil itu. Dan bahkan puter balik cuma buat ambil kolanya. Tapi, meski udah berkata jujur, bener nggak sih kalau dia yang harus disalahkan? Ketika cewek ini bikin bayangan tangannya menjadi anak kucing lucu, semua orang langsung memberi pujian. Tapi tiba-tiba temennya dateng dan nggak mau kalah dan langsung bikin versi sendiri yang katanya lebih bagus. Burung unta, dia bilang. Masalahnya, bentuknya malah aneh banget. Mendengar itu, si cewek malah berkata, iya sih, jelek banget kayak kamu. Dan nggak ada yang ngasih mereka like.
This is the sneaky tactic a cyclist used to win first place. At first, he pretended to hand over an empty water bottle to his support team in the car. But in reality, he subtly held on for a moment, just enough to get an easy push forward. The cyclist deliberately exchanged water and food supplies not because he needed them, but to get a free speed boost without putting in too much effort. Maybe this is what people mean when they say, working smart beats working hard.
Jika kamu nemuin pasir yang terlihat seperti ini, bisa jadi inilah satu-satunya kesempatanmu buat jadi sultan. Ketika pria ini nemu pasir kuning creamy kayak gini, dia nggak jijik sama sekali karena dia tahu ini bukan pasir biasa. Jadi dia langsung mengumpulkannya ke dalam mangkuk logam dan membawanya ke sungai. Lalu mulai memutarnya persis seperti ini. Dan akhirnya dia mulai menyaringnya dengan hati-hati. Dan begitulah dia menemukan emas bernilai puluhan juta rupiah.
This African bodybuilder has never stepped into a traditional gym. Instead, he built his physique by using homemade weights made of concrete molds, creating his own dumbbells and barbells. And although he doesn't have much, he's achieved an insane physique everyone dreams of. Now he coaches others in his village, teaching them how to train alongside him, and you don't want to mess with them. This is why you never play dirty, because when this fighter disrespected his opponent by hitting him with a cheap shot after the round had been stopped, he quickly found out that karma is real, and at the start of the next round, he got what he deserved. This isn't your average motorcycle, as this guy made his own custom tricycle drag bike built for speed, and with 800 horsepower, it can reach 0 to 60 in just 3.5 seconds. Would you ride this bike? People are angry at this guy after pulling off a completely legal move on his opponent, because during their match, he was able to get him into a buggy choke, which is nearly impossible to escape from. But people are mad at him because he didn't let go after his opponent tapped, leading to this. This is the terrifying moment this skier fell into an ice cave and thought it was all over. And don't worry, he was able to call for a rescue, making it out safely.
Why is this hairstylist suddenly going viral online? Most people think it's because of her clean fades, or how good her clients look afterwards. But the actual reason is something you'll never expect. Because when Ivana wanted to grow her hair cutting business, she decided to record herself at work, cutting many of her customers' hair. But over time, her audience online started growing like crazy, not because of her cutting skills, but because of the beautiful outfits she always wears.
This man saw a woman who was sad. The woman was crying, and the man asking, "What made you so sad?" He gives her flowers and a note, hoping that it will make her smile and forget her problems. The man's actions are kind and thoughtful, He's trying to make a difference in the woman's life, even if it is just for a moment.
This basketball player is about to be scared so hard he switched sides for a second.
Did you know one of the Wolf of Wall Street's most iconic moments wasn't even planned? That famous "I'm not leaving" scene? Leonardo DiCaprio totally improvised it. He went so hard, the crew started laughing. They actually had to re-record the audio afterward. Pure chaos, pure instinct. That's when you know you're watching genius at work. Follow for more behind-the-scenes genius moments.
This guy loves protein, so 30 eggs will do. He even has milk with his protein with an amazing ratio.
Cowok ini udah nggak tahan lagi melihat bulu di ketiak ceweknya. Tanpa ragu, dia langsung nempelin plester cabut bulu ke situ. Ceweknya kaget, sekaligus marah sambil teriak-teriak. Dan ketika mau cabut plester itu, dia ragu-ragu. Tapi tiba-tiba, nggak cuman itu, cowoknya tempel plester lagi di ketiak satunya.
India, street vendors fry snacks in sand instead of oil, and there's a genius reason why. The vendor heats sand to extremely high temperatures in a wok, then buries ingredients like potato snacks or popcorn inside. The hot sand transfers heat evenly on all sides, just like oil but without the fat. After stirring them occasionally, the sand and food are separated through a wire mesh screen. Since the sand can be reused countless times, it's cheaper, healthier, and easier to clean up.
Eyes are too far apart. She looks like an alien. Anya Taylor-Joy was the target of these striking criticisms early in her career. Her unique beauty was mocked because it didn't fit Hollywood's strict molds. But she pushed aside these striking negative remarks, believed in herself, and turned those criticized flaws into a striking power that made her a global icon. Because every flaw can be a signature.
How would you react if you went to the grocery store and ran into this?
That is why you should never go rollerblading with a horse, otherwise the same thing could happen to you as it did to her. At the beginning, everything goes perfectly well and is even fun, but suddenly the horse gets faster and faster because it tries to turn. She thinks it's going back home, so she accelerates as well to keep up, but then the horse takes a quick shortcut and gets ahead of her, leaving her a bit behind as if to say, no chance I'm losing to you. Only those who understood should click like. If someone ever ties you up, you don't need to panic. This is the coolest trick that can save your life. First, carefully pull the tied rope towards you and gently thread it through the part wrapped around your wrists. Then, push your hand slowly through the middle of the bound rope as shown in the video. Only those who understood should click like. Because of this bug, this man becomes a millionaire. In fact, while this man is painting a picture, a bug suddenly flies in from somewhere, lands on the picture, and begins to walk around on it. As a joke, the man keeps moving his pen behind the bug. The bug walks over the picture so much that no empty space is left, and it looks beautiful. Then a rich man buys it for $1 million. Only those who understood should click like.
Did you know one of Hollywood's biggest love stories started on set? In Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Brad Pitt met Angelina Jolie. Their on-screen chemistry? Electric, dangerous, impossible to ignore. What began as co-stars turned into one of the most talked-about relationships in Hollywood history. Sometimes the script isn't the only thing sparking. Follow for more iconic Hollywood moments.
Look, when this woman removed the parquet floor in her home, she discovered a secret compartment into space. Her excited husband accidentally pushed her down. As she floats through the vacuum of space, we see her heading towards Earth. The man ran outside and looked up into the sky to realize that his wife was falling towards Earth. Still, no one liked this exciting video.
Did you know the Green Goblin almost looked way scarier? When Spider-Man came out, fans complained they couldn't see Willem Dafoe's facial expressions under the helmet, but here's the twist. Sam Raimi originally designed a fully animatronic mask that moved with Dafoe's face. It blinked, it snarled, it lived. The studio rejected it for being too scary. Imagine how different that goblin would have felt.
Ketika ibunya mau masuk kamar, gadis ini langsung pura-pura kerja. Padahal tadinya main HP. Melihat itu, ibunya tersenyum bangga. Bahkan, biar nggak capek mijetin bapaknya, dia bikin robot pijat untuknya dan membuat ibunya makin kagum padanya. Lihat wanita ini, di balik jeruji besi, dia tetap berjuang menjual barang dagangannya. Tapi bukan karena dihukum, melainkan demi keselamatan dia sendiri. Karena daerah tempat dia tinggal terkenal rawan, dan sebagai perempuan, dia harus cari cara buat bertahan hidup. Makanya, dia pasang jeruji besi biar bisa bekerja dengan aman. Dan ibu ini juga selalu ingat, kejahatan terjadi bukan hanya karena ada niat pelakunya, tapi juga karena ada kesempatan.
Waspadalah! Waspadalah!
The grip strength of the world's strongest man, Eddie Hall. To test his power, they used a grip strength tester, and on his first try, he got an insane score of 195, but he knew he could do better. So on his second try, he gave it his all, scoring a 114, lower than before. But taking a close look, the tester was overloaded, displaying an error message as it surpassed the 200-pound limit. This guy was part of a jumping competition, and he jumped so far that they had to pull out a tape measure. He is definitely overqualified for the Olympics.
Michael Jackson tried to bring back that innocence he lost by establishing a massive game world called Neverland because he could never live his childhood. This man, who hid behind masks while the whole world was watching, turned into history's most mysterious character with physical changes and striking accusations. No one is truly grown up without healing that wounded child within.
He was challenged by the entire wrestling team to a leg wrestling competition. The objective of this game is to overpower your opponent by using your leg strength. But these boys underestimated how strong she was as she dominated them one by one. But they left the strongest wrestler for last, hoping he could overpower her. But she made it look effortless, easily beating him. Could you beat her? This 13-year-old boy is a death diving champion. His name is Herman Thrain, and he is a professional dodge diver. And the goal is to see who can perform the most extreme dive while maintaining control and keeping their arm and legs stretched for as long as possible, tucking to a pike position before hitting the water. Would you try this?
You will definitely never beat this game, right? It is the hardest game in arcades. You have to throw the bowling ball exactly right to press down the first hump without it rolling back, but you are also not allowed to touch the button at the end of the second ramp. And even if the ball lands exactly in the target zone, you have to win at least twice to get a toy that is only worth $1.
If you are scared of heights, this park is not for you, as it is made entirely of rope suspended in the air with its highest peak being over 100 feet in the sky. But don't worry, as it is strong enough for you to jump around without breaking and is able to support multiple people at the same time. Would you go to this park? This is how people could tell the time before technology. This is a human-sized sundial that uses the sun to cast a shadow on the ground, landing at a specific time throughout the day. And you can tell it works as the time in this video is 2:30. Security was chasing the streaker, and in an attempt to get away, he ran toward the stands. But something unexpected happened as the crowd started to help by pulling him up and not letting security pass. The guy blended into the crowd, escaping last second. But the crowd wanted to taunt security, so they started a chant saying he's gone.
This is the reason why this gold dust hunter is a pro. When people think of collecting gold dust, they usually imagine using something like a plate, but actually, this method is inefficient, yielding only about 0.1 grams of gold dust per hour. What pros like him use is this ladder-like machine called a sluice box. The metal mesh and fine textured mat automatically trap the gold dust. You collect soil from the riverbed with a shovel, wash it through the sluice box, and finally filter it by hand. Just like that, you get about $100 worth of gold dust. Furthermore, if you operate an electric gold dust collector, you can even collect thousands of dollars worth of gold dust in a single day. Only those who understood should click like.
Which girl from this group would you pick? Because when they came on the internet for the first time as a college sorority group, everyone was obsessed with them. But it wasn't until a very specific video they posted that got 8 million likes that really made them famous. Just watch.
This guy is the real-life Johnny Bravo. His name is Hugo Venture, and he actually has a medical condition that makes his chest pop out. But because he also works out, this enhances the effect, making his chest look extremely massive.
As she steps up for her turn on the massive zip line, she looks terrified as her instructor locks her in. She grips the harness tightly as it's given one last safety check. But just before she goes, another instructor helps the two riders before her get back to the top. And when it's finally her turn to fly, this happens.
This guy has created a wallpaper that matches his bathroom's appearance, and he's about to set up a perfect trap for his friend. He sticks the wallpaper onto the bathroom door, making it look like the door is open when it's actually closed. After waiting a few minutes, his friend arrives home and goes upstairs to use the bathroom. Before watching what happens next, if you love your mom, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a heart in the comments.
A prank? Kid at Legoland was learning to drive a Lego car to get his license, but clearly he shouldn't be on Lego roads. He drove up to an employee, suddenly swerved like he was about to hit him, then lowered his head and tried to sneak away as if nothing had happened.
Most people have no idea why this little girl blew up online. You probably think it's because of her incredible ball skills, or maybe the way she constantly destroys her brother in every clip, but the actual reason is completely unexpected because from the start, she was just messing around in her basement, posting random videos of herself juggling in her sneakers. She wasn't looking for fame at all. But then one moment changed everything, all because of what happened with her brother in this specific video. Just watch.
Running away from your problems is a race you'll never win. The best way to escape from a problem is to solve it.
Why is this woman becoming viral all of a sudden? Most people would think it's because of her powerful arm, or perhaps maybe even her lightning speed. But those reasons would be completely wrong. Because when she first started posting football videos of herself, she wasn't expecting to get any views at all. But then one clip of her went viral where everyone couldn't stop talking about her look.
This train station floods every day with hundreds of gallons of water, and as the water rushes down, the people recording aren't running away, as this is part of an attraction at Universal Studios, making you feel like you're in a movie. This is snow, and most people don't know what it actually looks like, so this woman used a microscopic lens on her phone, allowing her to zoom into a single flake. And every snowflake is unique, made of hundreds of ice crystals, forming patterns and shapes that can never be recreated again.
Wanita ini melakukan kesalahan fatal saat membiarkan seekor kambing menyentuh telinganya. Karena tanpa dia sadari, kambing itu sebenarnya mengincar anting mahalnya. Kambing itu berhasil mengambil antingnya dan mulai mengunyahnya. Wanita itu panik mencoba merebut anting itu kembali dari mulut kambing, tapi sia-sia. Namun yang terjadi selanjutnya sangat mengejutkan. Saat suaminya datang dan menatap tajam kambing itu, secara ajaib kambing itu langsung memuntahkan antingnya. Dan anting itu pun berhasil diselamatkan tepat waktu.
In China, when someone gets married, there is a tradition where the bride has to leave her family home and move to her husband's house. Before she leaves, her mother prepares a tray filled with money as her final gift. The bride can take as much or as little from this tray as she wants. This ritual is meant to show how happy or sad the bride feels about leaving her family.
This hand is LeBron James, and you'll be surprised by the last one, as this place lets you match your hand size to some of the greatest basketball players in the world. After each hand, they get bigger and bigger, with the last one being Kawhi Leonard's. And let's be honest, his girl is definitely the happiest one of all.
Mischievous patient came up with the perfect prank to scare the nurse. While she was busy with her work, he quietly placed the top half of a skeleton on the bed. Not stopping there, he added the remaining leg and even dressed the skeleton in his own shirt. The nurse didn't glance back even once, until the moment he ducked under the bed, she turned around, locked eyes with the skeleton, and let out a terrified scream.
Their mission is to get everyone soaked. At Niagara Falls, they offer wild boat rides, where the captain steers like crazy, drifting and crashing into the waves. The bigger the wave, the better, because they promise no one makes it out without getting splashed and completely wet. Would you take a ride?
Look, this woman is breaking the rules. Forget makeup brushes because she is doing her makeup with a slipper. Moreover, she is testing how long-lasting this method is. First, she tries to wipe it off with a card. Then, she wants to clean it with a wet wipe. But the makeup doesn't even move. However, this brilliant makeup technique hasn't received any likes.
You possess these 5 traits of intelligent people, you are actually quite smart. First, they cannot silence their inner voice. They constantly create scenarios, analyze, and debate with themselves. Second, they get bored quickly with simple routines or small talk. Third, they never blindly obey authority. They prioritize logic over titles, age, or rank. Fourth, they have extreme empathy and decode emotions fast, which is often a heavy burden. And finally, they feel lonely in crowds. While everyone is laughing, their minds are always somewhere else.
Monk is going viral again, but not for her makeup, because after Natalie kept copying Brooke videos, she finally decided to make a TikTok trend on her drafts, and what she does at the end will shock you.
I said a boom, chicka boom. I said a boom, chicka boom. I said
This headphone is solution for hearing problems as over 30 million Americans are affected by hearing loss from impacted earwax with just a click of a button. This automatic ear cleaning device uses irrigation and microsuction technology to quickly and safely break down and remove impacted earwax, because we all have that one friend who needs this.
There it is.
After years of fighting, their bodies are about to be put to the test, as they must take as many punches to the abs as possible without quitting. The second guy seems to take the strikes well, but the instructor isn't holding back, eliminating him with 3 strikes. Although the last guy just witnessed this, he was extremely confident he could easily take them, which he proves by not even reacting. The instructor even had to switch to kicking, which did not work. Could you take one of these punches? This is Luke, and he is a gym rat who is looking for the best weight attachment. And some of the objects he has used are just ridiculous. He started off by adding an eye bolt to a skateboard, later to a baseball bat, and most recently an Xbox controller, which seemed optimal, but people insisted on a PlayStation controller as well, where the Xbox controller won due to durability. What do you think the next attachment should be?
This clever puzzle is called the ping pong ring because it looks like a ping pong paddle. At first, it seems impossible to remove the small ring in the middle. There's no gap, and it won't go up or down. Many kids give up, but the secret is to think differently. Instead of moving just the small ring, you treat the 3 lower rings as a single unit. By folding them together, you create a small opening. Then, lift the lower rings so the small ring rises along with them. When it reaches the joint, flip it over, and the small ring smoothly slides into the groove and comes free. Puzzle solved.
These guys are ready for the English or Spanish challenge, as they have mastered the art of becoming completely stiff. And it is incredible that they don't even move while falling. They even take it as far as not to blink, change their facial expression, and most impressive, not breathing. And don't worry, he's okay.
These 2 girls became popular for something no one expected, because at first they were only attempting the viral TikTok dance. But then this girl pulled a move so crazy. Everyone kept rewatching the dance over and over again. Take a look.
Finger when he wakes up, because everything in his house works for him. As soon as he gets out of bed, a special device dresses him. Even his dog takes part. It presses a red button and launches jam onto his bread. That's how the man starts his day without doing a single thing.
Order this ice cream and the waiter rushes to your table. If they're slow, you won't get to eat it in time. This isn't just regular ice cream, it's called Magic Shell. The chocolate topping is mixed with a special edible oil. When it touches the cold ice cream, it instantly hardens into a crunchy layer. That's why they have to move fast before the magic sets.
This guy created a robot that uses hacks through its eyes, which makes it impossible for video games to detect. He did this by building a robotic arm and coding it to move to control the mouse. And cameras are used as eyes that are programmed to respond to what is on the screen by using aim hacks. He is never losing again.
Hey, over here.
Hi.
This is my locker, number 67.
And 5, 6, 7. Hey! That's the last parachute. Why do you get it? I'm gonna share it. Shall we dance? And 5, 6, 7.
Look at this girl. She held a banana tightly in both hands and dipped it into a special liquid. Once the liquid dried, she carefully pulled her hands out, leaving 2 perfect holes. Then she poured another liquid inside, tapped it gently, and slowly peeled away the outer layer. After a while, when it was completely removed, she even washed out the banana trapped inside. And what remained was an incredible hand-shaped candle.
Genius was able to fool all the sellers of tile and concrete products. Initially, this man was surprised at the prices of ready-made products, so he ordered cheap pouring molds online and filled them with concrete so that he ended up with a huge handmade flower pot. Kudos to the genius for his work.
Did you know football history has one name at the very top? Cristiano Ronaldo has scored over 870 career goals, more than any professional player in history. Different leagues, different teams, different eras, same result. Every match, every moment, he delivers.
After this happened, the blue guy seemed to have extreme pain in his knee, so the white guy tried to apologize by shaking hands, but instead chose to slam his opponent on the ground, as he disrespected him by refusing to accept his apology and felt that his knee was not hurt. Was this the right move?
Pria yang kaya raya ini baru saja membeli sebuah helikopter. Tapi mereka punya satu masalah besar. Kedua anaknya berebut soal siapa yang duduk di depan. Jadi kakak beradik itu terpaksa bermain suit untuk menentukan tempat duduk mereka. Dan setelah semua perlengkapan dan barang dinaikkan, helikopter itu akhirnya lepas landas, siap membawa keluarga mereka berlibur. Dan si adik sangat gembira karena mendapat tempat duduk di depan. Tapi mereka hanya mendapat 200 likes.
This guy makes three-dimensional art that adds a sense of life to his paintings. He does this by incorporating the frame and surroundings, depending on what the people in his art are doing. Like splitting the frame in two, creating a ledge, breaking the glass for a punch, burning the canvas, and using a corner to add depth. This is the type of creativity modern art needs.